Welcome back. Joining me now is Komal Ahmad, the founder and CEO of Copia. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So you've developed technology that basically provides a service which delivers surplus food to those in need. This is a very interesting concept. It all started with a fateful lunch one day 4 years ago, is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Tell us about that day and the person who you invited to lunch.
Sure. So I was walking down Telegraph Avenue in Berkeley, and I encountered a homeless man begging for food, which is pretty common in the Bay Area, but something about him compelled me to stop and invite him to join me for lunch. And during lunch, just as you're sitting across from me, he was sitting across from me, and he just scarfed down the food that I had bought him. And after he had eaten, he decided he wanted to introduce himself, and he said, my name is John. I just came back from my second tour in Iraq. I've been waiting for weeks for my benefits to kick in, and they haven't, which is a pretty common story. And I don't have any money, and I haven't eaten in 3 days.
Wow.
And so that was both like a slap in the face and just like an ice bucket of water, over me, because I was just a few months away from deploying as an officer in the United States Navy. And so this was someone who could very well be my future. Someone who so bravely sacrificed himself on the battlefield of Iraq, only to come home to face another battle, which was hunger and homelessness. And then to add insult to injury, right across the street, Berkeley's dining hall was throwing away thousands of pounds of food every day. And so it's this very stark reality of those who have and waste, and those in need and who starve, and those two people right across the street from each other. And that was really kind of where that impetus began.
And so great that you took that initiative to do that when, so many people just sort of like pass by homeless people,
right.
And not do anything.
Right.
So I probably should have started off with this, which is congratulations
Thank you.
on being chosen as a Toyota Mother of Invention. What does this recognition mean to you?
It means that this is an extraordinary opportunity that I have, that I can take Copia's mission to a global stage. I can teach people about issues and educate them about, issues of hunger and food waste. And also I can make them have a choice in how they can join this movement as well, right? So if they're in the Bay Area, they could sign up to be a donor. They could become a driver. They could sign up their nonprofit to accept food. So there's also so many different ways to get involved in the movement. So I think it's just a great opportunity to spread the mission's message forward.
So the Toyota grant will kind of help you expand to other
yes,
places,
definitely.
other venues.
Yes, exactly.
Can any organization donate food using the Kopi app?
Yes.
And tell us how the technology has simplified the process.
Sure. So imagine you're Google. At the end of the day, you have a bunch of sandwiches left over. Instead of throwing them away, you would just go onto our app and say, hey, I have 100 sandwiches. They need to be picked up by 6 p.m. Here's my contact info. And you send it to this essentially virtual marketplace. And on the back end, our algorithm will then match that amount and type of food to the nearest shelters and organizations that can accept that amount and type at that day, at that time. And it'll also dispatch a driver. So it's doing all of these things seamless. And so imagine if you had actually donated 1,000 pounds of food, but only one shelter can't take it all. It'll also break it apart. So it'll say, okay, you could take these 300 sandwiches here, this, 250 pounds of chicken curry there, and it'll break it up so that it does it more intelligently. And it'll also, dispatch a driver, give them the most seamless route to go pick up the food, drop it off. And then as a full circle, we'll send back testimonials and photos from the people that were fed, allowing you to see the impact you made by spending 2 minutes of your time using Copia.
I could have used this very app at a holiday party because we had about 10 leftover gingerbread houses.
Yeah.
But we wanted to find a place where we could donate them in San Francisco
Right.
that had children
Right.
staying at a shelter so
Right.
that they could use them. So
Right.
I wish I'd known about it sooner.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what your future plans are for Copia? What other technologies you might have in the works? Or is that trade secret?
So this year, we're looking to expand throughout the Bay Area. So we really want to saturate it. We want to make a playbook out of every city. We want to understand, how does it take to really scale and saturate San Jose versus San Francisco versus, the rest of Silicon Valley. And then use those examples and those lessons and then expand city by city across the country and then across the world. So we have every attention on eradicating hunger globally, and not in a Miss Universe like I want world peace way, but this is a distribution problem,
right.
And we can figure this out. If we can, find a car instantaneously, if we could find our future mate instantaneously, we could also solve hunger just as instantly.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yep. Thank you for having me.